What is going on? If you've clicked on this video, it's because you're curious to understand if your diagnosis is real slash fake, not fake, but like if there's another way of looking at it in which you don't need to be living with this diagnosis or disorder that you have been given by a well-meaning psychiatrist, doctor, or something of that nature. In the way that I work with my clients, I hate labels. I just don't like them. I think that they're absolutely useless. I talk about this a lot in my content with my clients, in my program, in my anxiety relief program, and all these different things. And it drives me crazy because all a diagnosis is, I'm not talking about health diagnoses in like cancer. I'm not talking about anything like that. I'm specifically talking about when you have an emotional pattern, like some emotions coming up and sensations as a result of that. I'm just talking about that. So in this video, I'm going to break down what these diagnoses actually are and a way to look at them. And then I'm going to take every diagnosis and disorder that Instagram tells me and that I can think of. Obviously, you are not here in live time for me to be able to ask you because I'm recording this YouTube video. I'm going to take every diagnosis and disorder that I can think of, mixed with you're going to help me Instagram. So start putting the diagnoses and disorders down in the comments so I have a lot to work with here. There's just so many. There are so fucking many. And I'm going to dismantle them. But we're going to do it in 30 minutes because I have a client call in 30 minutes. So I'm going to just boom, explode them out of the water. Before I start dismantling, here's what a diagnosis of an emotional situation actually is. It is nothing more than a pattern. These are all patterns, and they all have a very specific reason why they're showing up. They have nothing to do with your with you being broken or you having, childhood trauma. They have nothing to do with some sort of hereditary genetic that you got. It literally has nothing to do with that. If you look up something called epigenetics on anywhere, ChatGPT, Google, it doesn't matter. You're gonna learn that yes, we all have certain genetics that we are predisposed with, but the way that you live your lifestyle in your head and in your body actually turn on and off the genes. So imagine like your genetics that were given down to you by your parents is like the piano, but the way that you live your lifestyle is the pianist, is the person who plays the notes. So it's up to you how your genes are being played and expressed, so to speak. My point is, 'cause this is not about biology. My point is, all of these emotional diagnoses and disorders are bullshit. All of them. There's a pattern and reason for why they're showing up. So with that in mind, Instagram has not been overly helpful yet. I told them to drop the diagnoses and disorders that I wanted them to hear, but my boy Kay did. So let's start with these ones. All right. The most common one that I see all the time, we'll start with anxiety and panic disorder. Let's do it. What is anxiety or panic disorder? So anxiety is a buildup, first of all. So anxiety is where you go from zero, say 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, to 100. It's a buildup, okay? Panic is 0 to 100. It just goes from one to the other. It skips all the numbers in between. So anxiety builds up. Panic, it just goes up right away. Now, so that's all that is, by the way. Both of these can be triggered by a stimulus, meaning a situation or a thought that you have. Anxiety is like you think one of these thoughts and you start to feel it in your body, and then you build on those thoughts, you build on those thoughts, you catastrophize, and it builds up in your body, and your nervous system reacts. Panic is there is a certain thing, it's like a phobic response. You see a spider or you think about a spider and your whole body just, oh, ow, I hurt my wrist just now doing that. Or you think about going on heights, or you think about something and you have this automatic panic response. That is what panic is. The other one's a slow buildup, anxiety. Now, the disorder part, this is interesting. And this is, by the way, for all of these patterns. I'm not going to lie. The disorder part, the intention of it is two things. One, it is disorderly because your emotions are not in order for you to be able to live your day very, very, very functionally. That is what it really means. A disorder is where, like, you're going through your day and you're being disrupted in your day quite a bit because you have these emotions that come up. But that doesn't mean you're broken or need fucking 10 goddamn years of therapy. So, the reason why a lot of therapists and all that diagnose is because under the insurance companies, if they don't diagnose you with a certain kind of disorder or a label or mental health problem, they literally can't treat you. They cannot treat you. Not because like they can't, but it's imagine like a checklist. If you don't know what the problem is, they don't know what pill to give you. They don't know what directive to give you. They don't know what strategy to give you. They don't know what to tell you to do. So they kind of in their mind, this is why I've seen so many of my clients, they by psychiatrists and therapists and all that, they've been given a sheet to write shit down, and the well-meaning therapist or doctor will look at that and say, this is bipolar. How the fuck could you know that by me writing down some answers? Maybe I'm in a bad mood today and I wrote them down. I wrote my answers down based on the mood I'm in, based on the state that I'm in. How the fuck does that mean I'm broken? It's ridiculous. And so they'll give you a piece of paper, you write things down, and like suddenly that tells you your thing, and then they give you a pill or their solution to it. The reason for the label is so that they can make the distinctions between what solutions to give you and what not to give you. That's the point. Now, here's what happens, unfortunately, is you will take them on to be like, oh, this is who I am and this is what I have. And more unfortunately than that, maybe not you specifically listening to this, but majority of people in the world will defend their diagnosis to the fucking end. They will fight for their diagnosis. They will fight for it. Like, why? Do you want to feel this way your whole life? Okay, keep it. I mean, I'm not gonna fucking rip it from you. Like, that's your life, not mine. I'm just gonna help. But they will fight for it. So I want to get back to my point of the video here. I'm going on passionate rants because I really care about you and I want to see you be free. So I'm making all these free YouTube videos. So my good friend here, anxiety disorder, panic disorder. The disorder part is just a well-meaning therapist putting it on you so that they, in their mind, know what to do to help you. It doesn't. That's why you're watching this YouTube video still. But that's the point of it. Take away the disorder, because it's not a disorder, it's a simple pattern. You have a thought, and it builds up, it builds up, it builds up. That's anxiety. Panic is you have a thought or you see something, and you just panic right away. You hear something, panic right away. That's what it is. That's it. You can get rid of that very quickly. The other one he said, PTSD. PTSD, if you break that down, post-traumatic, which means after a traumatic incident, stress disorder. Take away the disorder, and this is what it is. It's an after a traumatic incident, you have a stress response. That is what PTSD is. But take away the disorder and replace it with an R. Post-traumatic stress response. That's it. Your nervous system is responding with a lot of stress after you've been through something that was painful. Very simple. Now, whether you've been to the war or whether I just yell at you right now, that can create a PTSR, a post-traumatic stress response. But we can get rid of it that fast by training your nervous system to respond differently to that same exact stimulus. So I've had war veterans who I'm helping to integrate back into their daily lives. And for example, they've heard explosions and gunshots and all that, and men going, oh, when they're being shot and all that. And their kids will be playing something like Call of Duty on the Xbox or the PlayStation. And they hear that in the kitchen and they freak out and go into fight or flight because their nervous system has been so trained that when you hear these things, there's guys nearby. So get ready to defend, right? It's just they've been trained that these sounds mean this. So get ready. So we need to train their nervous system out of it. Very simple. Usually we can do it in 5 to 20 minutes. It does not take long. But you've got to get rid of the disorder part in order to get rid of it in any amount of time, be it 10 years or 5 seconds. You've got to get rid of the disorder because you don't have a disorder. Your nervous system is a learning machine. It grows billions of neurocortical pathways every single night. Every single night. It's growing them right now as you're listening to this. Okay? And if it's growing a bunch of neurocortical pathways, all you have to do is create new ones on top of that. Now, to the average person who doesn't know anything about the nervous system, except for a therapist telling you to breathe out slowly to calm the vagus nerve, What that really just means is there's a bunch of connections in your brain, and based on the connections that you have there will be how you respond emotionally to something. That's all that really means. So that's that. Now he's the other one he put is BPD. There's two of them that mean BPD. There's bipolar disorder and borderline personality disorder. Bipolar disorder, I have an entire training on YouTube. It's not bipolar, like it's not bipolar disorder. And if you've been labeled with that, I am sorry that a therapist is fucking up your whole life. What bipolar disorder means, so take away the bipolar, take away the disorder, get rid of the whole thing. What it means is right now you are feeling very out of control of your life. And as a result, you're feeling angry. And then you're feeling really down and depressed and angry, really down and depressed. Maybe you have moments of what a therapist will call euphoria. And that's just you feel really good because for a moment, your life is meeting your expectations. Your life is matching your expectations, therefore you feel happy. Any human would. When life is going the way that we want it to be going, we feel fucking phenomenal. That's the human condition. So you have moments of euphoria, and then when life doesn't match your expectations for a second, boom, you get triggered again. That's called you feel out of control. You don't have bipolar. So that's that. All right? My friends, I want you to drop more diagnoses and disorders in the comments. 'Cause I have lots, but I want to make sure I get the ones that are up here. You guys showed up live, so I want to help you. Hold on, YouTube. You can skip forward if you want to. I've been diagnosed fabulous. LOL gifted. That's amazing. I love that one. I've been diagnosed as sexy as fuck. Uh, for real, they say that giftedness is neurodivergent. Okay, let's cover that one for a real sec. For a second. I might lose half my audience when I say this, but if I do, then you're not for me to work with anyway. Neurodivergence is something that we've come up with in the last like 5 years. It has been a popularized term. Now, we are putting things into this category of neurodivergence that don't make any sense. If we're going to put anything in the category of neurodivergence, put things like autism in there. Put things like multiple sclerosis. Like put something that where your nervous system is literally not able to function at the fullest capabilities. Stop being fucking stupid and saying that anxiety is fucking neurodivergent. Is that no what do you anxiety literally means fear. There's something, doesn't matter what, but there's something that we feel afraid of. And maybe if it's lingering for a long time, sure, you feel lingering amounts of fear. That's fine. You're allowed to. But don't start labeling yourself with some dumb shit to fit in with the crowd. You're better than that. All right, let's move on. Health anxiety. Again, I have more videos on health anxiety on my YouTube channel, so check them out. Health anxiety is just this. Either you're feeling anxious regularly because the dumb thoughts that you're thinking and the way that you're breathing and using your body. So you're creating anxiety. And as a result of doing that ongoingly, the chronic amount of anxiety that you're putting yourself into is creating symptoms and sensations. And then you feel afraid because of the symptoms and sensations that you're creating. Stop it. That's version one of health anxiety. Version two is that you have a real health condition. You have multiple sclerosis, you have Lyme's disease, you have some sort of genetic problem. It doesn't matter. You have cancer, you have some sort of actual health condition that obviously is a real concern. And you are afraid of what might happen. You're afraid of it getting worse. You're afraid of the consequences of this thing that you have, this health condition. But again, that falls into the category of you're fearful, which is okay. It's okay to be afraid of things. None of us like to admit that we're afraid of shit nowadays, but we're all afraid of something. That's in wow, why can't I say it? That is in oh, I gotta get this. That is an immutable law of life. There we go. The nervous system is built to keep you afraid. So it's our job to rise above that. All right, lots of people here. What's up, guys? Happy 4th of July if you're American. Do you have ways to get rid of overeating. Oh, not that this, Stephanie, so good to see you here. How you doing, girl? I worked with this woman like 3 years ago. One session later, she's doing phenomenal. I love it. Stephanie, catch up with me. I want to see how you're doing years later. Um, so getting rid of overeating is not a disorder. So, but we're gonna throw it in this video just because it was asked, and I think it's a really important thing to understand. Overeating is a behavior. We cannot just get rid of that behavior without getting rid of the emotion that makes you want to overeat. You don't overeat all the time, right? You overeat when you get into a certain emotional state, when you feel a certain way. So, like when you're bored, for example, you might overeat. When you're very stressed, you might overeat. When you're anxious, you might overeat, right? When you are in a state of feeling connected with your friends out at the bar, or tonight at 4th of July, you might be hanging out with them at your house, so you overeat on all these chips and snacks and stuff. But the most common, like, disordered version of it is you feel very stressed out, you feel like you're not enough, you don't feel good about yourself at all, and you shove Oreos and chips and all the chicken and the bullshit down your gullet, um, which is just a way of you trying to feel control. And then there's the opposite of that, where you don't eat a damn thing. The very opposite of that. And you feel like the only way to have control is to not eat anything. But that's not control. Control is having an on-off switch in your fucking brain where you can turn on hunger and turn it off to be satiated. So that's what that is. But it's not a disorder. Again, it is a pattern. A pattern of I'm trying to feel in control. The way I believe to feel in control is to not eat or to overeat. Same thing. Gonna message you, buddy. You're the best. You're the best. I don't know what SPO291 is. I have no idea. Never heard of that before in my life. So let's do some more disorders. I don't edit these videos, so bear with me. Oh, OCD. I don't know why I didn't think of that. This is one of the most famous ones that are defended by everybody. Everyone who's diagnosed with OCD is like, I want to keep this diagnosis to the end, and it's ridiculous. Here's what OCD is, and if you have been diagnosed, I guarantee that you will feel seen and understood when I say this piece. You have thoughts. You believe those scary thoughts. They scare the fucking bejesus out of you, and you feel unsafe in your body. As a result of feeling extremely unsafe in your body, you do something to try to get that feeling of safety back in your body, and it works for 0.0001 second. So then you do it again, and 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 again and again and again until it becomes a compulsion. And then a good meaning therapist says you have OCD. That's not OCD. It doesn't exist. Yes, you're being compulsive. That's true, because compulsive is a real thing. Compulsive means like there's something you have an overwhelming urge to do and you just do it. I'm compulsive about shit that I want. Very compulsive. But compulsive is a good thing. That actually means that you're dependable. It means that the thing you really want to do, you're going to have this uncontrollable, insatiable desire to do the thing you want to do. I am very compulsive about my business and serving you. I am insatiably hungry to serve you. It's the 4th of July. My wife took the day off. I didn't. I decided that I'm going to take a couple calls today because I am obsessed with serving you. And I'm compulsive about it. I make decisions like this without even thinking about it because I need it so bad. Like, compulsiveness is a good thing. You just have to direct it. And I just helped a client who feeling very anxious for like 6 years. She was checking her blood pressure 4 times a day. It was consuming when she wasn't checking it, she was thinking about it all the time, trying to fight herself not to do it. Checking her blood pressure 4 times a day. And the more she checked it while she was anxious, the more her blood pressure went up. And in her mind, she couldn't calm down until her blood pressure on the machine went down. So I told her, I said, I want you to, you said 4 times a day? Great. I want you 8 times a day to lay on your back like a little baby playing with its toys, and I want you to put your blood whatever the heck it's called thing on, and I want you to like kind of play with it like in the cord, like you're a little baby flailing your arms and your legs in the air. I said I want you to do that 8 times a day. We had our next session after that 3 days later. And she's like, not only do I have I not done my blood pressure in a desiring way, other than what I asked her to do, she said, I hate it. I don't want to do it. I want it out of my sight. The desire is gone because we changed what checking her blood pressure meant to her at an emotional level. It meant safety, and now it means this is fucking stupid. And she's doing great now. Literally great now. Stupid label. OCD. What do we do when we start ruminating when, oh, sorry, unidentified fear? Well, I would say the first thing is to identify it. And even then, you don't really need to identify it. You just need to learn how to change your emotional state, truthfully, which is your body and mind. You change what you're doing with both your head and your body, you won't feel fear. What do we do when ruminating thoughts start? Um, Put them in a I'm going to go over here and answer that question. If you have ruminating thoughts in your mind, I want you to take that picture and put or the movie in your head and put a 2-inch thick border around the whole thing and shrink it down to the size of a quarter and blink it between black and white. Push it to the side and think of something that you want. That's very much all you have to do. And just practice that a few times and it won't come up. And it won't bother you. If it does come up, it won't bother you because you change the way your nervous system is processing them. ADHD. Oh my God. We might end it on this one because this is the perfect one. ADHD. Attention deficit hyperactive dick. I mean disorder. So here's what this is. Any one of you who have been diagnosed or have self-diagnosed as ADD or ADHD, it's the same bullshit, means that two things happened. One, you grew up in a world where there's so many fucking screens that it's creating a new stimulus response. Nobody past 20 years ago was being diagnosed with ADD. Nobody. And when they did, it was like the odd person. Most people just said, like, yeah, like your attention span's like a fucking squirrel. Think about this. I right now have this screen up, right? I have my phone right over here recording on Instagram. If I didn't, it would be my text messages and my WhatsApp and my email and my Instagram and my LinkedIn and my TikTok and my Twitter and my YouTube and my Facebook. And then I have this, right? My father-in-law, when I go to his house, it's funny. We make fun of him, and I love him to death. He's the best guy ever. He has about 4 to 5 screens around him at all times. Like, we live in a world where it is so accelerated, it's creating a new stimulus response. Think about this, my friends. We go to Instagram or TikTok. If the video doesn't catch your attention in like what, 2.5 fucking seconds, what do we all do? Answer it in your head. What do we all do? If it doesn't catch your attention in 1.1 second, scroll. The next one doesn't get your attention in 1.1 second, scroll. So most of us are like this. Oh, what was that? Oh, keep going. What was that? Oh, keep going. And then what do we do when we haven't found something that we like, that we want to consume for 20 seconds? What do? We literally close the app. If you're anything like me, you close the app, you open another one, you close that one, you open another one, you put your phone down, and you're not stimulated by anything in the room that you're physically in. You're like, What do? You pull out your phone again and you open the same apps. Now, Instagram, come on. Drop the word yes if you can relate to that. That's what I do too. That's what I do too. So I'm the first to admit it. But there's somewhere I'm going with this. Drop the word yes in the comments if you can relate to that. Scroll, scroll, scroll. You can't find anything to get your attention. So you open another app, you open another app, you open another app, you put your phone down, and you're like, I'm fucking bored. So you open it up again. Boom. This is what ADHD is. This is literally all it is. Our brain has been trained neurologically that if something doesn't catch your attention that fast, we're so bored that we go to the next thing. That's all ADHD is. So that's the first thing. Our brains have been trained. Nobody before like 2010. I was in the 10th grade in 2010. Nobody before the 10th grade, before like 2009, 2010-ish, was diagnosed with ADHD at the level we are now. It's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. And it doesn't make sense. No, you don't have ADHD. You have no disorder. Your brain has been trained to go. My friends, we have parents now that are putting their kids who are 3 years old, their brain is not even developed, not even a third of the way. Their brain is not even a third of the way developed. And what are the parents doing? I can't handle my child. Put them in front of an iPad and a TV at the same time. And when they're on a road trip, let's put them in front of the iPad and my phone. So I don't need to fucking keep them occupied. Like, what do you think ADHD is? That's what it is. You can't pay attention for more than 5 seconds because of that. Now, so that's number one. The stimulation coming into our nervous system is so much that when we don't have high levels of stimulation, we are all bored out of our fucking skull. That's number one. Number two is that we all went to, what do you call it? Most of you were diagnosed with this in school. Think about this. How many of us had really exciting and engaging teachers where they taught us in a way where you were engaged with them mentally and emotionally the entire time and you got the whole lesson and did your homework as a result? Like, no, none of us. Like, none of us. We all had teachers that were like, so 1 + 1 equals class. Who has the answer? You, Johnny. 2, good job. Now, geography, blah, blah, blah. We had boring ass teachers. So, what you really had, you don't have ADHD, you have STDs. You had shitty teacher disorders. That's what you really have. So, between shitty teacher disorders, STDs, and then all the fucking stimulation, of course you have ADHD. You are bored out of your mind. I'm going to leave this entire conversation on this. Okay? How many of you, just think about it right now, can you pay attention to someone when they're able to keep your interest? They're talking about something that you love. They're talking about people that you admire. You're having a super fun conversation. You're playing a super fun game together. You're going on this fun road trip. You're at an amusement park. You're at a comedy show. You're doing some fun things. Can you pay attention then? Of course you can. I was telling you, my father-in-law who has all these screens out, I bought him and my wife and my mother-in-law tickets to see Peter Holmes. No, Peter Holmes? Yeah, Peter Holmes, I think his name is, right? In Dania Beach down here in Florida. It's about 30 minutes from where we live. And we were laughing so fucking hard. I did not see this man, my father-in-law, take his phone out one time. And he has it on his hand like this. He's looking at it all the time. All the time. All the time. Never once took it out. And when we watch a really good movie, like one that really captivates us, and we're both doing this, never looks at his phone once. That's called something was able to keep your interest, and therefore you weren't distracted. You weren't ADHD. Ooh, what a fucking concept. You're bored. Your brain is bored. So if there's an antidote to this, so to speak, you have to learn to calm your mind down. That's it. Now, yes, you can do that through meditation, hypnosis, putting yourself in a trance. There's so many ways to do it. It's all three of the things that I just mentioned are basically the same thing. You get your breathing right, you bring your mind to one concentrated place, be it somewhere on the wall, or concentrate on your own breathing, or a sound that you put on, one specific sound on purpose, and you just breathe in, breathe out through your nose longer, breathe in, breathe out slowly. And you just do that like maybe for 10 minutes a day. And you're going to train your brain to be able to calm down. That's it. ADHD is such a bullshit label too. If this has been helpful or stimulating to you, and I was able to keep your interest, and you want help, if you want help to be free for the rest of your life, if you want an absolute 180 transformation in the way that you've been feeling in your life lately, be it PTSD, OCD, I guess ADHD, just all of these labels, DM me the word relief on my Instagram, or I never thought of this before this video, or just message drop the word relief in the comments of this YouTube video, and I totally forgot I can reach out to you that way as well. But I communicate a lot more through Instagram, and I would suggest you do it there. So I've dropped my Instagram handle in the chat below. It's tyler.charlebois on Instagram. Directly message me the word there, relief, and then say YouTube, just because I want to know where you came from. So that'll be helpful. And then tell me in the comments what other questions that you have for me to answer. I'd be happy to do that. I want to build up this YouTube channel. So I love you. I hope this served you. I will chat with you soon. I hope to serve you more directly in the future.